Hello everyone, Dividend Enjoyer here. Today I'm going to be going over my $34,845.53 stock portfolio. I figured I'd make this video since I usually will make it on, either the weekend or Monday. I know that I've made a couple talking about the portfolio and the current moves. There won't be a lot of updates here, but I do want to say it is nice to get another $90 up in the portfolio. Especially since I'm not looking at buying anything right now. It is kind of nice that the stocks that I currently have are moving upwards if I wanted to trim a little bit. Definitely starting to think about it with Amazon. It looks like a nice opportunity, but I really think I'll make more money if I just hold on to it. I think that Amazon's going to hit a new 52-week high at some point. I don't know when exactly, but I do think it's more valuable now than it was a year ago. I think that we're very close to a lot of different technology that's really going to make everyone have better cash flows. So I really think everything is going to become more valuable. I really think it's underestimated just how much these new technologies are going to improve a lot of efficiencies. Hasbro's been doing very well. I'm up 14.32% on that, or $131. I think I took a little bit of that out for just because I needed some cash. Meta also up 29.4% on that. So really wish I would have bought more Meta in hindsight, but hindsight is 2020, obviously. I did say that Amazon and Meta were my two most likely to do the best this year in terms of the Mag 7 names. I still think Amazon is going to perform better in the long term just because I think that their business model is safer. There's a lot less risk there. But I think that Meta has probably the better margin and the better team. I think that Meta really has the premier team in AI, so I really think that it's a very strong stock. I think that, the market cap will increase for sure. That's obviously not financial advice. That's obviously an opinion of mine, and I'm not a financial advisor. Prologis has been doing pretty well too, up 5.62% or $92.51. Up about $9 today, but really, I really like that annual dividend of $63.67. It's very nice to have. It's very good to have to be able to, just collect that $15 or whatever every quarter. Texas Roadhouse too is up about $48.32. American Express up 12.02% or $309.47. Apple up $179.30. Waste Management up $138.33. Amazon, obviously the one with the highest gains, up $525.34. And Vici up $350.95. Obviously excellent. That doesn't include the dividends too, but with Vici, I've said this before, I really want to get up to $365 a year, just so that I'm getting $1 a day from that Las Vegas real estate. Really like Vici. Almost made a whole video on them, actually. I've done it in the past, but I haven't obviously made a recent Vici video. This stock, I was buying hand over fist below $30, and obviously now it's increased a pretty significant amount. I think that there's pretty good gains to be had here. I'm very excited to hold it. I would like to get some more, but I have to do another DCF on it and really get the numbers. I think they pretty much usually report what analysts want. Sometimes they have a little bit more in terms of the management of their free cash flow. But I really like this stock. I think that it's very stable. I think that interest rates are going to come down, and it's going to make refinancing for a lot of Vici's loans a lot easier. I think that this is a very lucrative business to be in, and I really want to own Vici for the long term. Then I have Salesforce, which is the only stock in the portfolio now that I'm down on. down $517.19 or 6.38%. If I had more money to put in, I would probably just be buying this. I think it's way too low for the kind of quality you're getting, the kind of growth that you're still going to be able to get. I really think that Salesforce is not going anywhere, and I'm a long-term holder. I think that they're buying back shares too, so I'll just continue to own more of the company for less of a price. I'll probably keep buying more Salesforce once I have more money in. Might also make a move on Uber. Been really eyeing Uber. I think that Uber is going to be a strong company if the self-driving stuff works out. But really like the selection I have here. I think that it's a very strong selection. I think that Hasbro, like I've said, is going to be the main company that I'm going to stick with until I see the magic kind of secondary market start to slip. Didn't really talk too much about Texas Roadhouse in this one. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, though. It's kind of a risky, high-growth, high-reward type of business. If they grow a lot of their restaurants and they grow their revenue, I'm going to make a lot of money. I think that in the long term, they're going to be able to continue to open new restaurants that are going to make the shareholders more money. And I think that the growth is there. I think that there's money to be made through Texas Roadhouse. I think that they run the business very efficiently. And I think it's exactly the type of business I want to get into when I want to get into it. I don't want to own McDonald's because I think that there's a lot of growth concerns there that are valid and legitimate. I don't think they can really make more money than what they're bringing in now, unfortunately. However, with Texas Roadhouse, I think that there is a path to even more profitability. I really think that the growth is there. The debt is very manageable. And I think that it's a strong business. I'm looking to really get, at least double my money on this. So I'm going to hold for the very long term. But I think that the growth is very plausible. And really like that investment. Haven't really talked about American Express or Apple either. I don't know, just very high quality businesses. Apple, I talked about it a lot. When it went 210 or below, I was buying it. I thought it was a good deal from there or below. A lot of these shares are from 200. So up 6.37%. Honestly, if it stays there for, a year, I'd be fine with that. I really think that it's going to go up more, though. Waste Management currently at 229, 230 or below. That's where I'm looking to buy. Amazon 231 now, which is insane to me. I remember buying this at $200 saying, I bet you it's going to hit 247. And now, we're closer to 247 than when I said that when, it was at 200. So we got a lot of movement there. Overall, everything's been moving up. I think we have earnings next week for a lot of our stocks. I'm not really going to be doing anything off of the earnings. Obviously, I care. I think that it's going to be interesting to see kind of where each company is with their actual earnings and the actual amount that they're making. I'm not going to try to play any of these companies by trading any of them, doing any options, anything. I'm just going to be an observer. I think things are a lot better than people realize. I think that a lot of these businesses are a lot stronger than a lot of people realize. And we'll just have to see when these companies report, which one Wall Street really likes and which ones Wall Street is not very favorable on. I think that Salesforce is going to have a good run. I think that it'd be kind of fitting that when I don't have a lot of money to throw at it, it'll kind of rebound. So, because that trade is going to destroy me, I think that Salesforce is going to rally super hard. And then I'm not going to ever be able to buy any more for a price that I like. So, that'd be a nice problem to have. But I really do think that their earnings are going to be good. Wall Street did have really high expectations for the last year. So maybe if they can, beat and give some good news and show some AI stuff, maybe they can do pretty well. I'm also looking forward to Amazon's earnings, looking forward to Waste Management's earnings. I'd really like to get 10,000 in Waste Management. I know I have about 4,000 right now. I think 10,000 would be really good because it'd be almost like an alternate bank account because it would pay a pretty decent dividend annual rate on top of also just being a very stable defensive stock. So I really like the idea of getting like $10,000 in waste management. So if I'm in a pinch, I can just sell this stock that's probably going to hold value very well. I also really like Apple for that reason. I think that they're going to hold their value very well. I think that there will be some growth as well. I really like the idea of holding Apple for the long term and being able to say that I was buying it when everyone thought it was garbage. Because I really do think Apple's going to come back into the limelight and be like, a major, number one stock in the world again. I think it's very possible that it could happen. And I think that they could figure out some way to, get in on this AI stuff without having to spend the crazy money. I also really like Prologis. I think long-term warehouse logistic real estate is going to be worth more. It might take 10 years for that to happen. It might just take interest rates to come down. We'll see what ends up happening, though. I think that it's a very strong business. I think that it's a good business to be in. But yeah, that's kind of some of my opinions on some of my stocks. Really looking forward to earnings season. I thought Hasbro reported very good earnings. I thought the stock should have went up more. I saw that it was up 5% in pre-market, but I really think that was all the people who've been holding, and now they're thinking that they're dumping their bags when in reality, the tariff situation is not going to be as bad as people think, and the magic market is very strong. So I'm going to stick with my Hasbro. I think that Hasbro is, not a bad business to be in, especially the way that they beat. It was just crazy. I think that they're going to continue to beat expectations and make a lot of money. And I'm really excited for Hasbro to kind of turn things around. And I want to be an owner of Hasbro. I think that if Magic can be run successfully for a very long time, I think that could be a very fruitful investment that could make a lot of money. If they fumble this bag, then it would obviously be very poor and frustrating. But I really think that Hasbro is going to be able to pull it off. I think that they've learned their mistake from overprinting cards. But, overall, I'm very optimistic for Hasbro. I think that it could be a very strong business. Let me look. Let me think. Is there anything else I want to add about any of my stocks? I got to say, it's been amazing seeing them go up as much as they have. Even a 4.65% increase, is, pretty good. I can't complain about that, honestly. It's a pretty good increase, especially when you consider I don't think that can count the dividends or the realized gains I've had. So, I've had a pretty good run at this, and I think I'm going to continue to hold. I think that number is going to increase more. And I just want to hold all these investments because I think that they're good investments, and I think in the long term, they're going to really outperform the S&P. So stick around, see what happens, and thank you for watching. I really appreciate all of you. Have a great rest of your night. Bye.